Every one of these 5 men looked at the same thing, the possibility that none of it means anything, that the universe doesn't care, that there is no plan, no justice waiting at the end, no reason built into any of it. Most stories protect their characters from that thought. These 5 stories made their characters live inside it, and each one came back with a different answer. One surrendered to the emptiness. One tried to force meaning into the world at gunpoint. One rebuilt meaning from the wreckage of a destroyed life. One stopped needing a destination at all. And one, the strangest of the 5, walked straight toward the hardest thing he could find and called it home. 5 characters, 5 answers to the same terrifying question. By the end of this video, you'll know which answer is yours. Start with the darkest one, because every other answer on this list is a response to him. Johan Liebert looked at the meaninglessness of existence and did something almost no character in fiction has the honesty to do. He agreed with it. No rebellion, no search, no secret hope underneath. Johan concluded that if nothing matters, then nothing matters. Not names, not lives, not the distinction between a person and an empty landscape. And he lived that conclusion to its end. He unmade people the way the universe unmakes everything, patiently, without malice, without meaning. This is nihilism, not as a mood, but as a finished position. The scenery of the end of the world that Johan carries inside him isn't a wound he's trying to heal. It's a truth he's trying to show everyone else. And here's what makes him terrifying, rather than just evil. You cannot argue with him from inside his premise. If nothing means anything, Johan is not wrong. He is simply the only one not pretending. Every other answer on this list is an attempt to escape that sentence. Makishima Shogo looked at the same void Johan did and refused it. Not with hope, with will. Makishima lives in a world that has automated meaning away. The Sybil system tells people what to feel, what to want, who to be. And Makishima's entire war is an insistence that this is a kind of death, that a choice made for you is not a choice, and a life without genuine will is not a life. So he decides that something matters, human volition, the raw fact of choosing, and he sets out to prove it exists, violently. He engineers atrocities not for pleasure and not for power, but as demonstrations. Every crime is an argument. See, we are still capable of choosing. This is existentialism with a body count. Where Johan surrenders to meaninglessness, Makishima manufactures meaning and imposes it, because a world without it is unbearable to him in a way it never was to Johan. And that's the disturbing insight buried in his character. Conviction is not the opposite of the void. It's one of the things people build to survive it. And sometimes what they build is worse than the emptiness it replaced. Thorfinn didn't philosophize his way into the void. He fell into it. For 10 years, revenge was his entire meaning. The skeleton his whole self was built around. And then the meaning was taken from him, unfinished, unfulfilled. Askeladd died by another hand, and Thorfinn woke up the next morning with nothing, no purpose, no identity, no reason. Most people never experience total meaninglessness as an idea. They experience it the way Thorfinn did, as the morning after a collapse. The job ends, the person leaves, the goal dies, and the scaffolding you didn't know was holding you up is suddenly gone. What Thorfinn does next is the answer. He builds a new meaning from nothing, not finds, builds. No one hands him a purpose. No cosmic sign arrives. He assembles a reason to live. I have no enemies, a land with no war, out of his father's words, his own guilt, and years of unglamorous work, with no guarantee any of it is true or achievable. And pause on that, because it's not just his story. Every person watching this has lost a load-bearing meaning at least once, or will. The question was never whether your meaning can collapse. It can. All of them can. The question is whether you believe meaning is something you find and therefore can lose forever, or something you can build again by hand from wreckage. Thorfinn is the proof it can be built. Musashi's answer took him 30 years to find, and he didn't find it on purpose. He started with a summit, become the strongest under the sun, a clear goal, or so it seemed. But the further he walked, the more the target dissolved. Strongest by what measure? Against whom? For what? Every peak he reached revealed another. Every victory felt emptier than the last, until he stood over the bodies of 70 men and felt nothing at all. That was Musashi's void, not the absence of meaning, but the discovery that the destination he'd bet his life on didn't exist. The summit was a mirage. The road was all there ever was. And his answer, slow, painful, incomplete even at the story's pause, is to stop needing the summit, to let the walking itself be the point, not as consolation, as truth. The meaning was never waiting at the end of the road, because meaning doesn't live in destinations. It lives in the walking or nowhere. The philosopher Camus had an image for this. Sisyphus, condemned to roll a boulder uphill forever, watching it roll back down, starting again. Camus said the only honest response is to imagine Sisyphus happy, not because the boulder stays up, but because the pushing itself can be enough. Musashi is what that looks like, with a sword. A man who wanted to arrive and learned against everything he believed to walk. And then there's Mori, the strangest answer of the five, and the one that took me the longest to understand, because Mori does something none of the others do. He doesn't surrender to the meaningless struggle. He doesn't force meaning onto it. He doesn't rebuild after collapse, and he doesn't learn reluctantly to accept the road. He chooses the struggle on purpose again and again. Mori climbs, alone, in silence, at the edge of death, up mountains that offer him nothing, no prize, no audience, no summit that will change anything. And here's the detail that unlocks him. If Mori only wanted quiet, if he only wanted to escape the noise of the world, a peaceful room would do. He doesn't want a peaceful room. He wants the mountain, the suffering, the risk, the version of existence with no guarantee attached. Where Musashi discovered the road and learned to walk it, Mori looks at the boulder and volunteers. That's the most radical answer on this list. Not enduring the meaningless struggle, embracing it, because the struggle, stripped of every false promise, is where he feels most alive. Sisyphus doesn't need to be imagined happy here. He's already smiling on the way down the hill. It costs him everything, and the story is honest about that. The isolation, the distance from every ordinary warmth. This answer is not free. But of the 5 men on this list, Mori is the only one the void has no power over. You cannot threaten a man with meaninglessness when meaninglessness is where he lives. Look at the 5 of them in a line, because the order matters. Johan surrendered. If nothing means anything, become nothing. Makishima resisted. Force meaning into the world, whatever it costs. Thorfinn rebuilt. When the meaning collapses, make another with your hands. Musashi walked, stop demanding the destination, and let the road be enough. And Mori climbed, choose the struggle itself and be free. It's not 5 philosophies, it's one question and an escalation of answers. From surrender to war to construction to acceptance to something past acceptance that almost looks like joy. And here's the thing about that question. You don't get to skip it. Everyone meets the void eventually, in a collapse, in an empty victory, in an ordinary Tuesday, when the point of all of it suddenly goes quiet. The 5 of them just show you the range of what a person can do next. The question isn't whether life has meaning. The question is what you do on the morning you realize it might not. Which answer is yours? Tell me in the comments. One word is enough. Build quietly. Walk your path.